sports.
We are Baltimore. We are Minnesota.
The Twins have enjoyed this trip to the Motor City. They've stepped on the gas, winning the first 2 games against the Tigers, and tonight they'll play Game 3 of 4 in this weekend series with Detroit. Last night, the Angels, Rangers, and Royals all lost, and the Angels already lost this afternoon. So Minnesota's lead in the wild card is 3.5 games over Texas, 4 over the Angels, 4.5 over Kansas City, with 8 games left to play for the Twins. Ervin Santana gets the start tonight for Minnesota. He went 5 2/3 in his last start. That was in New York against the Yankees. And the last time Matthew Boyd started, that was this past Sunday. He had a no-hit bid with 2 outs in the 9th inning. Ended up with a 1-hit shutout against the White Sox. Twins baseball on Fox Sports North is presented by State Farm. Good evening from Comerica Park. I'm Marnie Gellner. The Twins have been carried at times by their offense, but they have been steadied all season long by their very solid defense. And last night's game was a pretty good example of the Twins making the routine plays and even making some of the exceptional plays. Defense can be kind of a tough thing to measure statistically, but the Twins have made the 6th fewest errors in all of baseball this season, and it has been a stark improvement over last year. Overall, the Twins' D this season gets an A.
Measuring a guy's defense is probably when you see him make the routine play, but yet make the plays at the extreme of their range, which I always say you can't teach that. That's just a gift. So I would have to say that this team defensively is the best I've ever seen overall. And I've seen some really good ones, but there's just something about these guys, they believe they're going to make the play.
I still think that the eye test sometimes is the best test. I mean, the numbers usually just support what you kind of already know by watching. I've been really pleased that the guys have taken a lot of pride in that side of the game. I think coming off of last year and having to listen to me talk about defensive spring training probably more than a couple of times, and the effort they put into trying to make themselves a better club in terms of that aspect of the game, and it's paid dividends.
The Twins will look for another solid defensive game tonight behind their ace, Ervin Santana. A look at Irv's latest stretch coming up next.
on so many levels. A spectacular performance by Ervin Santana.
Got him. A razor-sharp innings for Ervin Santana. Another strikeout for Ervin Santana. Half swing, but he went.
That's just beautiful.
Wow. This highly improbable push for a playoff spot, a possible playoff spot, continues tonight. Ervin Santana will make the start for the Twins in Game 3 with the Detroit Tigers, and it looks like he might start the final game of this road trip as well. He's been pitching awfully well, and the Twins right now are playing awfully well. We welcome you to Comerica Park. Dick Bramer along with Bert Blyleven. And we've seen over the years pitchers who've been good first-half pitchers or good second-half pitchers. It's been a while since the Twins have had one who's been really good in both halves.
Yeah, he's really pitched all season long, but Irv really has taken off over the last 10 starts. He has been outstanding. Twins are 7-3 over his last 10 starts. He himself 4-1, very good earned run average, but he's maintained that ERA all season long. He's making his third start against the Tigers. You know, we touched on defense. One reason with good defense, because Santana, one of those starters that works quick and relies on good defense.
So far, since the Twins got to Detroit, everything is broken right. They've been winning, everybody else has been losing, and the Twins have a chance to take a step closer to that coveted playoff spot when we come back. Degrees, at least the highest I've seen listed. And so we've got very warm temperatures again here for Game 3. Paul Molitor's team 41-35 on the road. They've kind of switched things around. They put together a really good home record in the second half, but they do have a losing record on the road in the second half. The Menards batting order has Brian Dozier, Joe Mauer, Jorge Polanco, Eddie Rosario, Eduardo Escobar, Byron Buxton, Max Kepler, Robbie Grossman, and Jason Castro.
And on the mound here tonight for the Detroit Tigers, it'll be 26-year-old bat Matthew Boyd, making his 24th start of the year, his 5th start against the Twins.
And Brian Dozier in the box, pretty good history against Boyd. And he takes a strike down the middle, 0-1. Since we left the air last night, Twins won last night. The Angels have lost twice, the Rangers have lost once. Dozier bunts it in the air, and that lands barehanded by Candelario, and he throws it away. It'll be a bunt single, and Dozier going to second, now going to third. He's going to be waved around. Brian Dozier coming all the way around and scoring on a bunt. How about that to start a ball game?
Well, you know, Castellanos, the right fielder, was really shading Brian toward right center.
Next shot of Dozier will be with an oxygen mask.
Take a look at the throw right there. Cabrera can't knock it down. A lot of foul territory here in Detroit, of course. Hustling down the line, and then seeing that ball got away, he makes a quick left turn. And now you're going to rely on your third base coach, and you look at Gene Glenn, and he says, keep coming. What are you doing? You're crazy. And he slides across home plate. How about that? Twins 1-0.
And now Mauer takes a strike. And you're Matthew Boyd, and you almost threw a no-hitter last time out. You get allow a bunt single right away to the first batter on the second pitch of the game, and you're already behind 1-0. Mauer lines it foul, and it's 0-2.
Of course, a bunt base hit for Brian Dozier. In the air, charge to Candelario at third base, his fourth of the year.
Liner to Kinsler. Joe hit the ball hard once last night, went 0 for 5, hits it hard here, 0 for 1 so far here tonight, 1 down. That'll bring up Polanco. Tigers out in the field, kind of a mixed bag. You got some veterans, you got some newer players. Romine, the veteran, in for Matuk in left field. Matuk's done for the year. He re-injured a groin last night. Jacoby Jones, Castellanos converted from third base to right field. Candelario, Iglesias, Kinsler, Cabrera, and with Brian Holiday behind the plate. Here's Polanco, and he takes low ball 1.
Yeah, Boyd in his first 4 starts against the Twins, 2-0 with a 3.68 ERA. So he has pitched well against the Minnesota Twins.
Swing and a miss, 1-1.
You know, last night we saw Daniel Norris, who started for the Tigers. Well, Matt Boyd also coming over in the trade for Price from the Toronto Blue Jays, David Price.
And Polanco shuffles his feet but takes a strike. One and 2. Speed pitch gets a swing and a miss. 2 down. Boyd had it together in his last start against the White Sox. Almost made baseball history.
8 2/3 of no-hit baseball against the Chicago White Sox here. He had plenty of run support. He had 12 runs to work with. In that ball game, 5 strikeouts, 1 walk. And there's the double right there off the bat of Tim Anderson that went over the head of Castellanos in right field, but he ended up getting the shutout, a 1-hit shutout, his first career shutout in professional baseball.
First complete game.
He had a couple minor league complete games.
Oh, professional, right, yep.
Professional, yep.
Half swing by Rosario, strike 1. And Boyd giving the Twins a lot of off-speed stuff. He's gotten ahead of Rosario 0-2.
Yeah, like Norris, he'll top out 92, 93. Big, slow curveball, very good changeup.
Blocked by Holiday, and it's 1-2.
They said what he did so well against the White Sox, especially to right-handed hitters, he worked a lot of guys hard inside, and it kind of opened up the door for that big, slow curveball and the changeup away. Now, left-handers have handled him pretty well this year.
Little pop-up short center, but Iglesias retreats to make the catch. Second pitch of the game, a bunt popped up, and it led to a run. The Twins up early, 1-0. there's a lot of foul territory here at Comerica Park, and Dave Clark talking with a converted infielder moved to the outfield, Castellanos, about the retrieve of that errant throw.
Yeah, I was kind of watching where he was at, and here you see Max Kepler out in right field now. He was probably another 20 feet to Max's right. I mean, they shade Brian Dozier to pull.
Right. Well, it's a 1-0 lead for Irvin Santana as he pitches to Ian Kinsler, Alex Presley, and Miguel Cabrera. And a first pitch strike to Kinsler.
Yeah, Santana making his 32nd start, his third against the Tigers. And a couple starts, he actually had his shortest start of the year against the Tigers in one of the 2 starts where he went into the 4th inning, pitched 3 1/3 innings. That was it. That's his shortest start of the year. And that came in Minnesota back in latter part of July.
And the Tigers still had Justin Upton. I think they'd traded J.D. Martinez by that point, but this Tiger team that the Twins are seeing in late September, a shell of what it once was earlier this year.
Well, he's had good success against the Tigers over his career. In 21 starts, 9 wins, 5 losses, ERA at 3.37.
2 strikes to Kinsler with the Twins up 1-0. Fastball is up. Driven to the right field corner and fair by a foot. And it'll be a double for Kinsler on a 1-2 pitch.
That at bat right there against Santana for Kinsler, that's his 74th at bat, and that's his 24th hit. So hitting over 300 against Irvin Santana. The ball away, and Kinsler, good hitting, just took it down. It's just a matter if it stays fair or not. And
oh, right on the chalk line.
The left of the chalk line, yeah. Right. So ground rule double for Kinsler.
And now Alex Presley. Presley, the designated hitter for the Tigers.
They got to watch the bunt here.
And a strike. Presley has made some good impressions here in Detroit. You can see from his batting average. Done a really nice job, and with the trade of J.D. Martinez, he's seen his playing time increase. And that's a base hit to right field. Kinsler will round third. Throw not in time, and the Tigers have already tied the game up. 6 pitches into the ball game. The Tigers have 2 hits and a run.
Yeah, Presley finding that hole between Joe Mauer and Brian Dozier into right field. Kepler did a good job of charging that ball and made a pretty good throw home, but Kinsler scores the tying run. See the pitch up, that change up. And Max comes in. Just off mark a little bit. Quick tag by Castro, but unable to tag Kinsler.
And now Miguel Cabrera. Twins playing Cabrera more conventionally yesterday. They shifted him, a pull shift. And Cabrera swings through a high fastball. And Cabrera hit 2 ground ball double plays when the game was still in doubt. Hit the ball right up the middle. Now Dozier playing him to the first base side of second base. Swing and a miss, 0-2.
Good slider right there.
Kinsler mentoring.
I think that's Holiday, is it not?
Yep. Blocked by Castro, 1-2. Tigers have lost 5 straight games. They've plummeted to the bottom of the American League Central. In fact, they have the worst record in the American League, 62-92. And if they're not careful, they're going to end up with the worst record in all of Major League Baseball. Tapped foul, and it's still 1-2. Take a look at the Tigers lineup. Kinsler, Presley, Cabrera, then Castellanos, who's had a really good September. Jamer Candelario, Brian Holiday, Andrew Romine, Jacoby Jones, and Jose Iglesias.
Yeah, I know a lot of the faces are gone in that lineup that we saw, but they're still hitting .260 as a ball club, 6th best in the American League. It's just the pitching has been inconsistent.
And now inside 2-2. Keeping an eye on Presley. Teams have run with some success against Irvin, 11 for 12 in the stolen base department. 2-2. And another chopper foul.
It's sad to say we're not seeing Miguel Cabrera at his best. He had a lot of back issues, and it was talk about him just kind of shutting it down, but he said, no, I want to play. I know I'm hurting. I know I'm hitting less than .250, but he wants to finish the season.
Fisted down the line. Fair again, right on the chalk line. Presley to third. He'll be held. And the Tigers have dropped 2 hits right on the right field line.
Yeah, both pitches left up by Santana, so a lot of pitches left up. Presley's changeup was up. Right there, that ball to Cabrera. Inside out at it, right down on that chalk line for a base hit. Take a look at the location. And again, Tigers using that chalk line down the right field line for 2 of their 3 hits.
Still nobody out, and here's Nick Castellanos. Twins taking a look at it, but it looked like the ball dropped right on the line. In Santana's last start, it was a good one. 5 2/3 innings, 7 hits, 2 runs allowed to the Yankees, and the Twins lost that ball game 2-1. Broke a 4-game winning streak for Santana. Twins playing the infield back. They'd love to get a double play grounder, and Santana misses the outside corner, 1-0. Castellanos had a 17-game hitting streak, hit a home run in his first at bat last night. Waves at an off-speed pitch, 1-1.
Yeah, good slider right there, it looked like. Now Castellanos 6 hits in 13 at bats against Santana with a couple doubles. Seven double plays turned behind Santana. This is his 31st start. 32nd start, excuse me.
Poked to left, and Rosario has to play that on a hop, and it's 2-0, and the Tigers start with 4 hits against Irvin Santana. Presley's ball was hit sharply between Mauer and Dozier, but the other 3 hits have been opposite field hits. Well, Castellanos, I guess, hooked his in front of Rosario, but it wasn't well hit at all.
Take a look at this pitch. It's a breaking ball away, and Castellanos just reaching out and hitting it softly, and Rosario comes charging in, but the ball falls in front of him.
Still nobody out, and here is Jeimer Candelario. Check swing. Strike 1, says third base umpire Roberto Ortiz.
Candelario was 23 years old, new to the Tigers, coming over from the Cubs. The end of July.
See if they can get 2. Dozier will get 1. Relay not in time. Candelario beats the relay. Runner at second, forced. The double play still in order, 1 down. Check the Twins out in the field, and it has been the strength of this team how well they have played in the field. Rosario, Buxton, and Kepler in the outfield. Escobar's been superb at third base in place of Sano. Polanco, Dozier up the middle. Mauer will get, at the very least, Gold Glove consideration at first, and Castro behind the plate. First and third, one down. Brian Holiday, the batter. Half swing, strike one.
Holiday back with the Tigers. He was with the Tigers in 2012 to 2015, then went over to the Texas Rangers and the Boston Red Sox last year. Signed a minor league contract, spent the whole season down in AAA, and get called up in September.
Chopped up the right side, and finally Mauer has to pick it up, and Holiday is safe. Has this been the oddest first inning you've ever seen in your life?
I'm surprised Santana didn't pick up that ball, because a runner at third was not going to come. All he had to do was pick it up and tag Holiday.
We have had a bunt and a three-base error lead to the first run of the game. The Tigers dropping base hits right on the foul line. And finally Mauer with the pickup and the lunge, and the question would be, did he stay in the baseline there? I think that's what Joe was saying, that maybe he left the baseline, but the bases are loaded, and Holiday will get credit for a bunt hit, or a swinging bunt hit. Here's Andrew Romine. Ball one.
Again, I'm surprised Santana looked like he thought it was going to go foul, but if it's fair, the runner's in front of him, so pick up the ball and tag him, because the runner at third, Cabrera, was not going anywhere.
Now 2-0. .24 pitches coming up now, the 24th for Santana. And it's an awfully big one. See if they can get two. And Polanco nearly stumbled across the bag. All in all, not bad. The Twins just gave up 2 runs in the first inning. A little game for it. We have no prizes to give away, but see if you can name who's put the numbers on the left for the Twins, who's put the numbers on the right for the Tigers.
Well, the guy on the right just left the ball game. The guy on the left took it over for Miguel Sano at third.
Escobar putting up really good numbers with the 19 home runs in the place of his teammate Miguel Sano. Miguel Cabrera has left the ball game. He looked hobbled from the moment Candelario's throw made him sprawl in the dirt near first base. Efren Navarro is going to take over at first base. and will hit third in the Tiger lineup. It's a 2-1 ball game, and it might be best for everybody concerned just to forget what happened in that first inning. Outside to Escobar, ball one.
Welcome to the game of baseball.
Escobar, Buxton, and Kepler. Now in the first 2 games of this series, the Tigers jumped out to an early 1-0 lead, and now it's a 2-1 lead.
So they're really up 1-0 then. In
kind of, yeah.
Way,
yeah. Same difference, I guess. Inside 2-1.
You know, just writing down on my scorecard, you know, the switch hitters for the Twins that are in the lineup, Polanco, Escobar, and Grossman, they're all hitting about even from both sides of the plate. Escobar, who's up right now, hitting .247 as a right-handed hitter, .253 from the left side. Polanco, .255, .260. Grossman, .243, .247.
And Escobar doesn't take too many walks, but he's just taken a leadoff walk here in the second.
It just shows that the switch hitters have been pretty even from both sides of the plate.
Which is a manager's delight.
Yes.
Time now for tonight's State Farm combination. And from where he was in the first half, well, they were really in the first half, to what they've done since the All-Star break, Byron Buxton and Jorge Polanco have the top 2 average increases in the major leagues. And we've seen it in evidence in this series. Buxton with 3 hits last night. And he takes a slow breaking ball, 74 miles per hour, and strike 1. He has had his problems with Boyd. He's 0 for 12 with 4 strikeouts against Matthew Boyd. And another off-speed pitch, an intermediate pitch, we'll call that. Fouled, it's 0-2.
Well, he got the slow curveball, then the changeup from Boyd.
Chipped his bat, so he's going to get a new one.
Yeah, Buxton in last night's ball game in his first at bat in the second inning, a base hit. And probably one of the biggest hits of the ball game. That came in a 3-run 4th inning, a 2-run double. And scored a couple runs, and then a double in the 6th inning.
Behind Boyd, 0-2. Chasing a fastball up and away, and Buxton's gone on 3 pitches.
Boyd picking up his second strikeout.
Well, we have Adrian Adrianza hitting now in what was Max Kepler's spot.
I wonder if Kepler, when he threw home, he stayed on the ground for a little bit. Hopefully he's all right.
Kepler leaving the ball game with presumably an injury of some sort, and Adrianza will take over for him. And of course, we'll get word when we get word. We'll pass it along to you. So we would assume Adrianza will take over in left field, and Rosario will swing over to right. That's typically how Paul Molitor's used Adrianza in the outfield. Slow breaking ball in the outside corner.
Yeah, Adrianza hitting .264 as a right-handed hitter, .280. He's got 2 home runs, 1 from each side of the plate. So a couple guys already out of this ball game. Cabrera with a lower back situation. And we'll try to find out about Kepler.
A weak pop-up in foul ground. Navarro puts it away, 2 down. It's almost like a football game in September, losing some players here early in the ball game.
Well, this is the only thing I can think of. He charged the ball right there, and then in the release, he slipped right
ankle.
there.
Yeah, it's
and he
right
stayed
ankle.
down just a bit. Hopefully he's all right.
Like he twisted his right ankle. Here's Robbie Grossman. Twins trying to take advantage with the leadoff walk to Escobar. And Grossman takes a strike. Boyd making his 5th start against the Twins. They have done a little bit better against him with every start this year. But he's picked up 3 wins against the Twins, half his total of 6 on the season. Down and in, and it's 1-1.
That's been kind of his career. He has 13 major league wins, and 5 of them have come against the Twins. making his 10th career start against the Twins. 5-1, 3.83 ERA, and 6 of the 9 previous starts quality starts.
1-1 to Grossman. Paul Mahler was talking about Escobar yesterday in terms of his base stealing ability. He said he's become a better base stealer. They think there's more in there for him to get in terms of base stealing. So one thing they did with him is they improved his route, getting him to run more in a straight line to the base. They said they noticed that sometimes he would take off and kind of arc his path towards second base. And you do that, you add another step or two, and as we discussed last night, that can make all the difference between being safe or out. So they really worked with Escobar on getting an explosive start and running directly to the second base bag.
Well, Boyd's a tough guy to run against.
Slide step and a pitch way outside, 3-1.
Yeah, there have been 9 stolen base attempts with Boyd on the mound, and only 3 have been successful. And he does have 3 pickoffs this year. So he'll give you a little different looks, a slide step, then that high right knee comes up like that. Sometimes he'll throw to first.
Candelario fields and throws. The inning ends. The leadoff walk does no damage. To the bottom of the second inning, it's 2-1 Detroit. We've lost a couple of players with Miguel Cabrera out for the Tigers, Max Kepler out for the Twins. Adrianza is in left field, and Eddie Rosario has swung over to play right field. And Irvin Santana hoping for a little better fortune in the second inning. Tigers dropped 2 hits right on the right field foul line. Castellanos just kind of lunged at a pitch with 2 strikes and dumped a single in front of Rosario. Here's Jacoby Jones threatening to bunt. He takes outside, ball 1.
Jones a speedster in his second season with the Tigers.
Dribbled to the right side. Easy play for Dozier. 1 away. Let's get our car soup item tonight from Marty Gelder.
Yeah, our car scoop from the clubhouse. Paul Molitor said that as the Twins close in here on the postseason, there just is nothing like going through it. That he can tell his guys how things are about to change, but nothing replaces experience. He did say, however, the guys have handled it really well and credits the veteran leadership for that. There's an off day on Monday, and Molitor said that he has options with his starting pitching rotation, but that he has not finalized anything yet for the 3-game series in Cleveland. And Jorge Polanco has really taken advantage of his opportunity to be a major league shortstop. That's a quote from Paul Molitor. Molitor said he doesn't know if there's any player on this team who has done more work on a single part of his game than Polanco has done on his defense. Dickenberg.
Thank you. There's a little fly ball short left field, and that ball's going to land between Polanco and Adrianza. Another flare for a hit, and Santana standing there with his hands on his hips, wondering when he might catch a break here tonight.
Well, I think that Adrianza, I think Polanco went back expecting Adrianza to be there, and that ball just kind of landed in no man's land.
Iglesias drops a single into short left field.
It's a pretty big field here in Detroit. And you see where Adrianza is playing. Now he comes in, and the ball just falls in front of him.
Yeah, it's been that kind of a start for Santana.
Yeah, first time through the lineup, Tigers have 6 hits.
And only one really hit sharply. That was Presley's single. Iglesias at first, one down, and Kinsler lifted a semi-line drive, semi-fly ball down the right field line, and it landed right on the foul line for a double. And he scored the first of 2 Tiger runs in the first. Inside, ball 1.
Santana getting through that first inning, getting the 3 outs. He's now, for the 6th time in his career, pitched over 200 innings in a season. The longest or most innings he's pitched, 228. That came in 2011 with the Angels.
Breaking ball on the outside corner.
And that just shows his consistency. Again, in this game today, if you can have 2 or 3 guys on your staff that'll give you 200 innings. Take a look at this last pitch.
A few inches off the plate, but Santana will take it. Or as you call it, a pitcher's pitch. Yep, 1-1.
It's more of an umpire's pitch there. You called it.
2-1. There goes a high fly to left. Adrianza's back at the wall. Makes the catch right at the wall. Kinsler hit one out last night. He nearly got another one. 2 down.
Well, I said this is a big ballpark, especially to left field. Remember when the bullpens weren't here when it first opened, and you had to hit one over the wall behind the bullpen. But right there, Adrianza goes back. Saw the Twins a couple times last night hit balls just like this that Collins ended up catching against the wall.
A flashback, some memories of the first couple years of this ballpark. I think it was 2 years before they moved the fences in. Here's Presley. And they had Juan Gonzalez for 1 year here, and they backed a truck up to his house and said, "We want you to sign here long term." And he looked at the left field fence, and having played here, he said, "Nope, I'll go someplace else." Because it was a long, long poke. Turns out that was probably the best thing the Tigers, the best break they ever had, was him not signing here. 1 strike with 2 down.
I see. This is a great ballpark before they built the bullpens out there. That used to be Death Valley out there. I mean, the flagpole was almost in play. Out in
well, it was at Tiger Stadium, right? At the old ballpark, it was in play.
You could rattle a ball around that. But heck, I played in Yankee Stadium when Babe Ruth's statue was in play out in the straightaway center.
2 strikes to Presley. And now up high. Houston beat the Angels this afternoon 6-2. The Angels now have lost 6 in a row. And later on tonight, the Rangers will play in Oakland. Runner goes, pitches a ball, throw to second. Perfect tag on a perfect throw. Polanco slapped the tag on Iglesias, and Castro could not have delivered a better throw.
Great throw by Jason Castro, right on the butt.
It's the Cubs and the Brewers playing in extra innings for the third consecutive game after the Brewers tied it up in the bottom of the ninth. We go to the bottom of the 10th. Travis Shaw with a 2-run shot for the Brewers to avoid the sweep against the Cubs. Still, the Cubs won 2 of 3 in that series, and Chicago's magic number now to clinch the NL Central is down to 5. Dick and Bert.
Boy, they played some 3 exciting games in Milwaukee.
3 just heartbreaking losses in a row for the Brewers, and then they get to walk off the Cubs. And so, yeah, they're bunched together. Colorado, St. Louis, and Milwaukee. That's the best race going right now for the second wild card spot in the National League. Jason Castro takes strike 1 from Matthew Boyd. We've just been given an update on Max Kepler, and it is not his left ankle. It is his left hip. That is the area of concern, and he's getting it examined. And we don't know when or how he might have injured it. Here's a ball chopped behind the bag, foul. But it is his left hip. Castro, Dozier, and Mauer here in the 3rd inning. Castro, how many times you see it? A guy catcher makes a great throw to second base, and then he leads off the next inning.
1 every 9.
Yeah. Twins have seen a lot of that from Boyd in his starts. A very slow mid-70s breaking ball. He just used that pitch to strike out Castro.
And a good location, too. Strikeout number 3 for Boyd.
Ryan Dozier thought he'd bunt for a hit. He had no idea when he bunted it that he'd be running a lap.
Now take a look at the ball right there. Now the third baseman throwing it past Cabrera. And then Brian just going all the way around. Gene Glenn says, go ahead. Head first slide in the home plate. Twins took an early 1-0 lead.
A fastball over the inside corner, strike 1. Dozier got credit for a single, a 3-base error on Candelario. And Brian waits on that breaking ball and dumps it wonderfully into right field.
That's nice hitting right there by Dozier.
And that's what you have to do, because the breaking balls that he's thrown the hitters, whether they be right-handed batters or left-handed batters on the outer half of the plate, you just can't pull the ball with any authority. And so he just went with it and flicked it to right.
You see the breaking ball, and Brian just taking it to right. Let's get their second hit, and Brian has both of them.
That'll bring up Mauer, who got 3 hits here on Thursday, 0 for 5 last night. He hit a line drive to Kinsler, his first time up today. After a somewhat slow start, Mauer's responded and rebounded with one of his better years in recent years. Similarly, the Twins got off to a slow start offensively. They're now 5th in the league in runs scored. With Dozier's run in the first inning, they've scored 771 runs on the year. And the two are interconnected. The Twins have found themselves with other players doing well, but they're still in a situation where they tend to revolve around how Joe's doing. One and 0 from Boyd. Now short fly ball to left, and Iglesias races out, makes a wonderful catch. Jose Iglesias with a long run and a great catch for out number 2.
Yeah, he's the only one that could have caught that right there. Romine could not have, the left fielder. Catches this down by his side as he went after that. Watch him right here, just kind of reach out. Good concentration, just reaching out and flipping the ball up.
Here is Polanco, struck out his first time up. And a throw to first.
Yeah, Brian at first base, 16 stolen bases. in 23 attempts.
A little bit high, ball 1 to Polanco. Tigers with 6 hits, Twins with just 2. Both hits by Brian Dozier. Sliced foul, and it's 1-1. Should wish a happy 28th birthday to Trevor May, who hasn't been able to help the Twins this year after Tommy John surgery, but the hope is he'll be ready to help next year.
I'll also say happy 90th birthday to Gene Dickman, Stan Dickman's dad down in Iowa. Gene, happy birthday. And also strength and conditioning coach Perry Castellano celebrating a birthday here.
We won't tell you how many. There's a ball hit to right center field. Castellanos is there. It's Castellanos playing outfield for the Tigers. Castellano, the strength and conditioning coach for the Twins. You're watching Twins baseball presented by State Farm. The third inning, the guy on the right, one of the few good things that's gone right for the Tigers this year, Mikey Matuk, but it looks like he's done for the year. Left last night's ball game with a grade 2 groin strain. So it was a re-injury of an existing condition last night. And so he will be put on the shelf in the hopes that he'll be healthy for opening day next year.
He made a very, very good impression with the Tigers this year since coming over from the Rays.
Alex Presley takes a strike. He was at the plate when Castro threw out Iglesias. Presley and then Navarro hitting in what was Cabrera's spot, and then Castellanos. 0-2. Injuries here, not only here, but in the Cleveland game. Jay Bruce had to leave with a bad heel in tonight's game. Outside, 1-2. Presley singled in the tying run in the first inning.
He got a high changeup for Santana. Hit the ball between Joe and Brian into right field.
Missed inside, and it's 2-2. That's to left, and it'll carry to Adrianza, who makes the lunging catch one way. one away. And that'll get us to Navarro. Postseason tickets go on sale Thursday, September 28th. Tickets will be available for the potential 2017 tiebreaker game, American League wildcard game, and the American League Division Series. The tickets will be available exclusively at twinsbaseball.com beginning at 10 a.m. Thursday, September 28th. Here is Navarro. Entered the game after Cabrera dropped a single on the right field line in the first inning.
Yeah, Navarro, a September call-up, signed a minor league contract. Twins saw him a little bit when he was with the Angels for 4 seasons, up and down.
One strike. And off the plate, 1-1. Mentioned earlier, Santana enjoying his finest year as a Twin. Last year wasn't that bad. I mean, he only won 7 ball games, but he had an ERA of 3.38, which is almost identical to what it is this year. But the one thing he did was he helped get this team off to a good start this year. He was phenomenal in April. The team won its first 4 ball games, had a winning record in April. To the extent this Twins team is formidable now in September, a lot of people will tell you it's because they had a good April. Can't win a division in April, but as the Twins found out last year, you can't lose one. Adrianza made the catch in foul territory. I thought that ball was going to drift into the seats, but Adrianza's been kept busy out there, and that's the second out.
Well, that ball was high enough, allowed Adrianza to get over there in foul territory and get near that wall. You see him reaching for it. And right against the wall, makes a nice catch. Good concentration for the second out.
And now Castellanos. Castellanos reached across the plate with 2 strikes and just flicked one into short left field between Rosario, who was out there at the time, and the shortstop Polanco. 1 strike. And now a ball. Cleveland leading Seattle 6-2. Mariners have dropped back, pretty much out of consideration for a wild card spot. The Indians still playing for home field advantage in the playoffs and World Series. 2-1. Cleveland looking for win number 97. Start the day 2 games behind the Dodgers.
And Houston won number 95 here this afternoon.
We were talking before the game. Isn't it wonderful the way it's set up now? This is, I think, the way it should be all along. You talked about in '87 how you guys clinched on Monday, didn't win a ball game. You didn't have to. The games were meaningless in terms of what would happen in October. But now we find teams playing all the way to the end with some focus and intensity because they're trying to get home field advantage for the playoff rounds in the World Series. High fly left center field. Buxton over. Adrianza is there in front of the flagpole. He makes the catch. He made all 3 putouts. And we head to the 4th with the Tigers leading 2-1. Northland Ford. Visit buyfordnow.com and your local Northland Ford dealer today. By Grand Casino, the best stories start here. And by Menards. Save big money at Menards on all your home improvement needs. As they've done in the first 2 games of the series, the Tigers have a 1-run lead as we go to the 4th inning, and it's been in the 4th inning when the Twins have taken control of the game. Eddie Rosario will lead things off for the Twins against Matthew Boyd, then Eduardo Escobar and Byron Buxton. In each case, Thursday night and last night, the Twins scored 3 runs in the 4th inning. Outside, ball 1. Rosario with a pop to short his first time up. Left-handers have hit Boyd actually better than right-handers have. And Rosario takes one over the inside corner, 1-1.
Yeah, opponents coming into this ballgame hitting .296 off of Boyd. Now, he has not allowed a home run to a left-handed hitter, but left-handers hitting .329, right-handers .290.
Tap foul.
He's given up 16 home runs.
Was poked to center field. Jones comes in, makes the catch, 1 away. And Escobar has filled in quite well in the absence of Miguel Sano, and it's been more than a month now since the Twins have had Sano in the lineup.
Well, he definitely likes the ball down. You can see Escobar, a lot of these pitches that he'll drive deep into the outfield, if not over the fence, are pitches that are down in the strike zone.
Escobar drew a leadoff walk in the 2nd, but was left there. And he takes strike 1.
19 home runs, a career high, 65 runs driven in.
Fouled into the seats. I want to pass along happy 75th wedding anniversary to Gil and Paige Theobald from Rochester. Big family celebration today, and why not? 75 years of wedded bliss. 2 strikes to Escobar and another foul. Paige claims to have gone to the very first Twins game back in 1961, and in fact she's got the proof of it. She got her picture in the Minneapolis Tribune the next day when the Twins played their very first game at Met Stadium.
Well, happy anniversary, you 2 lovebirds.
Bouncer to short, easy play for Iglesias. Escobar retired, 2 down. We'll bring up Buxton. Fox Sports North is proud to partner with the Minnesota Wild and Let's Play Hockey to collect gently used hockey equipment for Twin Cities families in need. Now through tomorrow, stop by select arenas and hockey shops throughout the metro to donate your old hockey equipment. For additional details and drop-off locations, visit foxsportsnorth.com/events. Here's Buxton, struck out his first time up. I think the Twins have had a good approach against Boyd. They haven't hit much hard, but sometimes they get into a pull mode against a left-hander like Boyd, but they have hit most of their balls in play to the opposite field. Inside and a called strike. It's 0-2. Boyd went after Buxton the first time with off-speed stuff. Now he zipped a couple of fastballs in for strikes. In the dirt, 1-2.
We talked about Boyd's great start he had last time out against the Chicago White Sox, but prior to that, he had 8 starts before that, 0-5 with a 7 ERA. So he had been struggling, and all of a sudden here comes a 1-hit shutout.
That one floats and nearly hit the outside corner. 2-2. Just missed up and in, and it's 3-2.
Tried to go back inside again where he got strike 2.
Adrian's on deck. Full count to Buxton. With a fastball over the inside corner. Twins haven't done much against Boyd. They trail 2-1 tonight. The Tiger fourth inning lead survives the top of the fourth. Front 2-1 going to the bottom of the fourth inning. Jeimer Candelario, Brian Holiday, Andrew Romine. It was a very uneven and unlucky start for Irvin Santana, but he's survived it. Gave up just 2 runs, got a big double play grounder in the first inning. That could have been much worse. The inning could have been much, much worse. But as it is, it's a 2-1 ball game.
Yeah, Santana, 50 pitches, 33 strikes. He's not walked anybody, doesn't have a strikeout yet.
And a first pitch strike. If the Twins get to the wild card game, it is expected that Santana will start it. What happens between tonight and then, Paul Molitor said today, is kind of a little bit flexible. Right now, Santana would be scheduled to pitch the final game in Cleveland. There's a quick strikeout of Candelario.
There's his first strikeout.
And Holiday will hit. Take a look at the swing and miss of Jeimer Candelario.
Well, I think all sliders. Slider for strike 1 and 2, and then a little bit harder slider, looked like, for strike 3.
Fox Tracks presented by Ram. And that'll bring up Holiday. Santana is penciled to start the series finale in Cleveland on Thursday. Paul Molitor today said that there's a few different options that were discussed extensively today. Derek Falvey's in town. I'm sure he might have been in on the discussion. Certainly Neil Allen was involved. Want to know. And a strike. And one of the considerations might be where the Twins are as we progress through this weekend. Chip to center, and it'll carry out to Buxton. That's out number 2. Let's get caught up.
Well, a little Dennis a menace by Brian Dozier right off the get-go. He bunted for a base hit, then the ball thrown down the line, and here in Comerica Park, that ball took forever for somebody to get there. Brian scored. Twins lead 1-0. Presley knocking in Kinsler after he let off the bottom of the first with a double. And then Castellanos with an RBI single, little flare in the left field. That scored Presley for the 2 runs that the Tigers were able to put on the board.
Ball 1 to Andrew Romine. And fouled away. 2-1.
I know back in '87 when we clinched it, and yeah, the 6 games that we lost after that, but Tom Kelly was getting myself and Frank Viola set, and when we started, we didn't have any intentions of going very deep into the ball game, almost like a spring training game.
Right, just to get
ready.
your work in.
Right.
Another 1-2-3 inning for Santana. New fans of the game enjoying a beautiful summer night at Comerica Park, hoping the game can get turned around as it did Thursday night and Friday night. We move to the 5th inning, and A-Ray Adrianza will lead things off. Adrianza came in the game when Max Kepler left the game with a left hip injury. We haven't gotten any word as to the severity of that injury. Adrianza, Grossman, and Castro here in the 5th. Adrianza pops the first pitch up. And the Twins haven't squared much of anything up against Boyd. 1 down. Let's get the big story in baseball from Marnie Gellner.
Last night in Los Angeles, Cody Bellinger hit a 3-run home run off of Jeff Samardzija, and that home run from Bellinger set a new National League record for rookies. That was his 39th home run. The Dodgers beat the Giants. They clinched their 5th consecutive National League West title.
Strike one taken by Grossman.
And they did it on Tommy Lasorda's 90th birthday, so congratulations to the LA Dodgers.
I saw some video. Tommy made it to the clubhouse and got a nice hug from all the players. 1 strike to Grossman. And now a ball. 4 of the 6 division championships have been decided. The National League Central and American League East have not been decided yet. Floats outside, and it is 2-1. Got Boston and New York fighting it out yet in the American League East. Cubs have a 5-game lead, 4.5-game lead now over St. Louis in the National League Central. Grossman swings and misses. 2-2.
Good changeup. I'll tell you what, Boyd is doing a good job of changing speeds here tonight.
Mid-70s, 94, mid-80s. Been hard to get a read on him. 2-2. And Grossman takes just outside. 3-2. Castro on deck.
You know, Boyd started the season in the rotation, and then in June he was really struggling. They ended up sending him down. Came up as a 26th player in July, went back down to AAA Toledo, then recalled in the latter part of July. And there's a walk right there, second walk for Boyd in the ball game.
2018 season tickets are on sale right now. In addition to securing your spot for next year, you'll be guaranteed postseason tickets for this year if the Twins are in the playoff field, and you'll also receive 4 tickets good for any remaining regular season home game this year. Don't miss an inning of postseason play and experience exclusive sweet spot benefits like 10% off food and beverage at Target Field. For more info or to place a deposit, visit twinsbaseball.com/season tickets. Here's Castro, a strikeout victim, his first time up. On the outside corner, strike 1.
Boyd getting ahead of a lot of the Twins hitters here tonight.
To left, hit pretty well. But Romine makes the catch short of the warning track, out number 2.
Castro hit it sharply, but Romine had to go back and get that line drive out for the second out.
Twins have taken 2 walks. They've only collected 2 hits against Boyd, both of them from Brian Dozier. A bunt single followed by the 3-base error, and the Twins had a 1-0 lead 2 pitches into the game. And then Dozier flared a single on a breaking ball into right field with 1 out in the 3rd. .75 miles per hour, and it breaks over for strike 1.
I got him 13 of 19 first pitch strikes.
And a lot of those on breaking pitches.
Just working ahead.
Side 1-1.
Boyd making his 54th career start. He has 13 wins, again 5 of them against the Twins, 21 losses. Came into this game with a 5.5 earned run average in 278 innings pitched in the big leagues.
2-1. Swing and a miss. 2-2.
He's mixing in all his pitches. Like a little cut fastball right there. That slow curveball, the changeup, the fastball.
Got him with a fastball. Just 2 hits through 5 innings against Matthew Boyd in a 2-1 Detroit lead.
Circled. Uh-oh, my telly doesn't work, but you're hereby circled anyway. I'll clear it just in case. And Twin fans, don't forget at Twin home games, you bring your Circle Me signs. And if you get circled, you may find yourself in the Minnesota Lottery winner circle, where you can win $100 worth of lottery scratch-off tickets, courtesy of the Minnesota Lottery. Happy 65th birthday to you.
I believe that was intended for me. It said Duke. I figured you were going to be probably on vacation, so they wanted me to circle them.
Oh, well, the telly's not working.
Okay. Well, consider them circled and consider me having circled them, I guess.
No, that was his 65th birthday.
Mm-hmm.
Ooh. Boy, that's old.
Yankton, great source for Twins fans. Right on Highway 81 in South Dakota.
Irvin Santana had a tough time in that first inning. A lot of little blue pitch right down that right field line, a couple of those, but he has settled down nicely. He's retired 7 straight. Tiger hitters.
Just off the outside corner, 1-2. Jones, Iglesias, and Kinsler in the 5th. Got him looking over the inside corner.
And strikeout number 2.
You probably had it happen to you so many times in your career where you just get off to a bad start, you don't get some breaks, umpire squeezes you, whatever, and you're thinking, oh, this isn't going to be my night. You got to find a way to fight through that, don't you?
Yeah, you really do. And Santana's doing that. 5 hits allowed in that first inning, and then one more in the second. You're going, oh my goodness, But that's the pro in him. That's the veteran in him. He knows that he has to keep battling and keep his club in the game, and he's been able to do that.
If you're making a good pitch time after time and they end up getting flared and landing on foul lines or whatever, you've got to sell yourself with the idea that you did your job. You made a good pitch. Yeah. The result wasn't what you wanted.
I think that was the hardest thing for any pitcher, is that to realize that you're facing major league hitters and they hit good pitches. So, you're going to have, guys like Santana. I know Ratke was that way. Anybody that has had a lot of success, you have to get them early before they settle in. We had CC Sabathia on the ropes in New York.
Yeah.
And we let him go, and then he pitched great after that. That's what veteran pitchers can do. They can make the adjustment very quickly.
0-2 to Iglesias. Iglesias got the last Detroit hit. First time through the batting order, Santana gave up 6 hits. If he gets Iglesias, it'll be a perfect second time through the batting order.
And that was just a little flare that fell into left field between Polanco and Adrianza in left field.
And he did get Iglesias. He struck him out. 2 down here in the 5th.
He's picking up some strikeouts now. He did not have a strikeout in his first 3 innings, but last 5 batters he has struck out 3. So good high fastball right here. And Iglesias swings through it at 93 miles an hour.
Kinsler doubled on the right field line in the first inning and scored. Then he hit a fly ball to left. The fly ball was caught right at the wall with a reach by Adrianza. I think the ball would have gone out, but it was a couple feet from doing just that.
We were talking last inning, Dick, about Santana, about when his next start's going to be. If the Twins clinch it, say in Cleveland, to be the wild card representative, they're going to look at Santana. What do we have to do to get him ready for Tuesday? If that's the intentions of starting him against the Yankees on Tuesday, what do we have to get? They'll sit down with Santana and say, hey, you know what? Go 4 or 5 innings and get yourself physically and mentally ready for that start.
Popped up wide of first. Mauer calling for it. He's got it. Another perfect inning for Irvin Santana. We go to the 6th. The Twins down a run in a pitcher's duel here at Comerica. Depends on financial donations to be able to provide disaster relief immediately. You can help people affected by Hurricanes Harvey, Irma, and Maria by visiting redcross.org, texting the word Red Cross to 90999 to make a $10 donation. I talked with Eddie Rosario today, and he said he still has yet to talk to family members in Puerto Rico. Phone lines are not established yet, and we know Kenny Vargas has checked in with his family. Jose Barrios has. But Eddie Rosario said he still has not been able to reach his family. Imagine what that must be like.
And now they have a dam that might burst there. So, yeah, not good in Puerto Rico.
Joe Mauer to lead off the 6th. He's lined out to second, popped up to short, and he takes strike 1.
Let's see if the Twins could figure this kid out right here, Matthew Boyd. 67 pitches, 46 strikes. Getting strike 1 on 14 of 20.
Just need a leadoff base runner here. Mauer takes inside 1-1. That barely registered on the speed gun. 73 miles per hour.
Well, that's working for him tonight.
Lifted foul 1-2. Mauer, Polanco, and Rosario trying to get something going here. Again, just 2 scratch hits for the Twins. A bunt single and a little flare to right field, both for Brian Dozier. 1-2 to Mauer. Got him swinging. 1 away.
He almost went backwards with that at bat to Joe Mauer. Starts him off with a slow curveball, then a slower one, then a little cutter, and then he throws the fastball by him. Strikeout number 6.
And now Polanco.
So the sequence to Joe Mauer. Got ahead again. And a great location of that pitch there at 87.
You could see the velocity varied all 4 pitches. A couple miles per hour difference in every pitch. 86 on the outside corner, strike 1. Well, if the pattern continues, whatever he throws Polanco, he won't repeat 86. That was 90. 1-1.
Boyd has 6 strikeouts, 1 strikeout each inning so far.
And now 2-1.
See the speed range, low is 71, high is 94. Good change up there.
So many swings and misses. He's having a tough time timing this guy. And this will be just his 75th pitch, so he's not on the cusp of coming out of the game.
Yeah, and that 1 hit shutout he had last start, he threw 121 pitches.
2-2 to Polanco. And that hit him. So the Twins won't get the leadoff man on, but Polanco's there with 1 down.
Now Boyd just hitting his 3rd batter on the season for the Tigers.
That'll bring up Rosario. See if the Twins are inclined to try to do some running here. Maybe a hit and run to try to get something going.
Well, watch the breaking ball right here, and Polanco right on that right foot. It was planted.
Rosario with a pop to short and a fly to center. Just need a gapper. Drop one on a foul line themselves. Hooked foul. He waited on it as long as he could.
He hung that curveball, and Rosario pulled it.
Patience at the plate isn't Eddie's strength to begin with, and you could see him waiting and waiting for something 73 miles per hour, and he just couldn't wait long enough. 1 strike.
I was watching Polanco at first base when Boyd lifted his right leg. He went back to first. Left-handers have that advantage of able to give different looks toward that runner at first base.
2 strikes to Rosario. Up and in with a fastball.
Let's see if he goes back inside again or throws that slow curveball after that fastball up and in.
1-2.
Holiday sitting inside.
Polanco goes and the pitch hacked foul. He got a good break from first base. And Rosario with 2 strikes had to swing away to protect the plate.
Polanco stole a base in last night's victory over the Tigers. That was his 12th stolen base last night.
Another 1-2. Around the hands again with a fastball.
Yeah, last 3 pitches, middle in. That time Boyd utilized a slide step and threw the ball toward home.
Boyd goes for a stroll behind the mound. Two and two. Back to the bag. Polanco goes.
Oh, yeah.
They got him picked off. Throw to second. Hits him in the back. And Polanco will advance to second base.
Twins get a break right there. Yeah. I mean, Boyd, the time before just kind of threw it over. This time he lifted that right leg up. Again, he's got 3 pickoffs on the season. This was a good pickoff right here. Polanco was going on first movement. You see the throw over, but Navarro ends up hitting Polanco in the back. As a first baseman, you don't want to throw it on the infield side instead. See where Iglesias was set up on the infield side to catch it and make the tag. So Twins get a break.
A tying run in scoring position now for Rosario. And another 2-2 pitch. 3-2. Escobar on deck. Pulled to first. Nice fielding play by Navarro, and on the play Polanco goes to third. 2 away now with Escobar coming to the plate. Boyd has continued to pitch well against the Twins.
Well, again, 5-1, very good ERA coming into this ball game, and he's only won 13 major league games in 53 career starts, and 5 of them against our Twins. Again, almost you look at that, changing speeds well. A lot of confidence coming into this ball game against the Twins. So far, so good.
Tying run at third, 2 down. Escobar the batter. Inside, ball 1. Couple of bases are open, and Boyd is absolutely eaten up Byron Buxton, who's the on-deck hitter. Buxton's 0 for 14 with 6 strikeouts against Boyd. Fly ball right field. Castellanos is there. Makes the catch. Twins leave the tying run at third. You're watching Twins baseball presented by State Farm. Presented by Chevrolet, the #1 selling brand in the Twin Cities. And by State Farm, here to help life go right with the home and auto protection you deserve. A 2-1 ball game, all the scoring in the first inning. And Ervin Santana has settled down after an unfortunate start to the ball game for him. And he'll face Alex Presley leading off the 6th, and then Navarro and Castellanos. First pitch strike.
Yeah, Santana's retired 10 straight Tiger hitters.
6 hits came in the first 9 plate appearances. Mauer with a nice fielding play. Flips to Santana, 1 away. And that'll bring up Navarro, who came into the game when Miguel Cabrera left with some lower back tightness. Have a day game tomorrow. In fact, an early day game. And we want to remind you folks about that. The Tigers moved the start time up an hour. It will start at noon Eastern time, or 12:10. Of course, that's 11:10 Central time. So we'll have morning baseball for you tomorrow in the final game of this series. Pregame will be on the air at 10:30 in the morning. And there's another first pitch strike with an off-speed pitch. We don't know that we've seen Santana have his really good fastball. He seems to be getting through the lineup here against the Tigers now with a lot of off-speed stuff.
Well, both starters doing a good job getting strike one. 17 of 22 batters. Strike one for Santana.
Hit to right and deep.
Right.
And it's 3-1. Navarro with a solo home run. And the Tigers have a 3-1 lead.
For Navarro, his first home run in a Tigers uniform since being called up. Fastball, good compact swing by Navarro. It makes it a 3-1 ball game.
And now Castellanos. We're talking about Santana and the decision that is yet to be made as to whether he'll start the final game in Cleveland. There really isn't much the Twins can do to juggle his rotation. I mean, we're at the end of the way here, or at the end of the season, and if the plan is for him to start the wild card game, should the Twins get there, he has to pitch Thursday. They're not going to give him an extra day on one side and cut him short another day on the other side.
Right. Yeah, so you know what?
I mean, they wouldn't consider skipping him at all, would they?
I would hope not, no. He needs mound time. You know, he's pitching over 200 innings, but still, you want him physically and mentally ready for that game on Tuesday if there is a game for the Twins.
0-2 to Castellanos. And a pitch up.
And the last thing you want to do is pitch him out of the bullpen. You know, say somebody starts, and I'm just saying that you don't know.
Right.
I mean, you got to, okay, say the Twins clinch. Now Thursday, okay, give me how many innings you feel like you need? 3-4 innings just to stay sharp and get ready for Tuesday.
One, not an advantage, but it's a difference between where the Twins might be at in that series and where the Indians might be at. The Twins, if they win the wild card, it really makes no difference how many wins they have. For the Indians, it might matter in terms of whether they would get home field advantage through the playoffs and through the World Series. 2-2 to Castellanos. And a strikeout. Out number 2.
And strikeout number 4.
The most popular way to follow the Twins postseason push is with MLB.com at Bat, the #1 app for live baseball. You can enjoy game day, live game video highlights, radio broadcasts, StatCast, news, and more. Download MLB.com at Bat today. 2 down, bottom of the 6th, the 2-run Tiger lead. And here's Jeimer Candelario. Inside, ball one. The fastball we've seen at 92, 93. I think on the Yankee Stadium gun we saw it at 112. Fouled, and it's 1-1. But we've seen Irvin maintain his velocity 94, 95 all year long. It might be a tick or two lower today.
I think he's one of these pitchers too that knows how to pitch, that he'll stay at 90, 91, and then when he needs a little extra, he's got something in the tank.
Pitch number 84 tonight. Missed inside, 2-1.
Yeah, 24 pitches needed in that first inning. Then in the second, 12, 14, 10, 12. So he's right back to where he can get deep into the ball game.
2-2. And Santana finishes with another strikeout. He did give up a Navarro home run, and the Tiger lead is now 3-1.
Had a 1-0 lead thanks to this error right here that allows Brian Dozier not only to get a bunt single but to score. Irvin Santana in the first inning, a tough inning, gave up 5 hits, a couple runs. Navarro, we just saw him hit his first home run as a Detroit Tiger. And then really the story of the game so far is Matthew Boyd. He's been outstanding for 6 innings, only 2 hits allowed, both of them the Dozier. 6 strikeouts.
We'll see if Byron Buxton will try to bunt his way aboard here leading off the 7th inning. Buxton again has really had problems with Boyd. He's 0 for 14 with 6 strikeouts against him, and he has struck out twice tonight. Inside, ball one. No hint of a bunt there. To the plate, 2-0. Doesn't pitch behind much. He has issued a couple of walks. He's hit a batter. 2-0.
Good changeup right there.
2-0 changeup on the outside corner. Foul. The reason I wondered about a bunt, you got a left-hander on the mound, and Navarro's not an accomplished first baseman, and there seemed to be some bunting room on the right side, and we haven't seen Candelario make any play in front of him, whether they've been choppers or bunts. But now the count's 2-2. That's to left center toward the gap. And it's hauled in by Jones. He's shown great range out there. Covered a lot of ground, made the catch, 1 down.
Yeah, nice catch by Jones.
Tonight's Coors Banquet timeless moment from 2007. Torrey Hunter stepped to the plate in his final at bat as a Twin the first time around at the Metrodome. And the White Sox manager Ozzie Guillen intentionally walked him. And I think the assumption was Torrey was going to leave through free agency. That's exactly what happened. And then eventually came back. Adrianza threatens to bunt and takes ball 1. Haven't received an update on Max Kepler. He left the ball game with a hip injury of some sort. Up and away. Now he falls behind Adrianza 2-0. Strike again. 81-mile-per-hour changeup on 2-0. 92 pitches for Boyd. That's hit to the gap in left center, and that won't be caught. Twins with a couple of well-hit balls against Boyd. Adrianza will hold up with a double.
A nice swing right there by Adrianza as that ball hit the gap, rolled all the way to the wall at 399 here in Detroit.
Safe to say the last 2 balls have been the 2 hardest balls hit all night against Matthew Boyd.
Fastball at 92.
Fox Tracks presented by Carrier. And so the tying run at the plate in Robbie Grossman. And a ground ball to third and drew a walk. Up high, ball 1 with Adrianza taking a huge secondary lead. Buxton with a line out. Adrianza with a double to the gap in left center field. Time called just as Boyd was breaking from the stretch. Activity in the Tiger bullpen for the first time tonight. Grossman lifts it foul, 1-1. Our this date in Twins history went back to 07. The Tiger highlight on this date in history was 05. We'll take a look at the relievers Verhagen and Stump warming up. In 05, Ty Cobb hit his first home run and inside the Parker. That was 1905.
I think the old ballpark, I believe it was 440 straightaway center, I believe.
Right.
Had some big ballparks back then.
You were just born 50 years too late.
Yeah.
1-1 to Robbie Grossman. That slap to right, down for a hit. Adrianza around third. He's going to score. Castellanos airmails the throw, but Grossman can't advance. He does deliver an RBI single, and it's 3-2.
Kind of an inside-out swing right there by Robbie, but he does flare it into right field for the second run for the Twins. Fastball in, inside-out swing. Castellanos lets it fly.
Now the tying run at first, still only 1 out, and here's Castro. Struck out in the third, hit a liner to left in the fifth. Castro taps it foul, 1 strike. Sanders hitting .292 against Boyd on the season. Breaking ball over, and it's 0-2. Two strikes to the Twins catcher. Down and in a ball.
They try to sneak a fastball by him. Pitch number 100 coming for Matthew Boyd.
Driven to center, but Jones has it measured. That's out number 2. That'll bring up Dozier, and we'll see whether the Tigers make a move. Here comes Brad Ausmus. So it took a while, but the Twins are finally going to get into the Tiger bullpen. Fine outing by Matthew Boyd, who continues to give the Twins trouble. Finally gained on him a little bit here in the 7th, but he's in position to win a ball game. He can't lose it. And we'll have a pitching change with a 3-2 ball game in favor of Detroit. Tigers leading 3-2.
Yeah, 6 2/3 innings, only 4 hits allowed. Twins able to get a couple hits this inning, but other than that, outstanding. 6 strikeouts, 2 walks. He's had a magic wand against the Twins so far throughout his young career, making just his 54th career start. Looking for his 6th career win against the Twins if the bullpen's able to hold it. Something that they've had trouble with.
Yes. Kind of did to the Twins tonight what Jaime Garcia did to them in New York. A lot of off-speed stuff, got a lot of swings and misses, and then we'll see what the Tigers can get from Drew Verhagen.
Verhagen worked in last night's ball game. He worked the 5th inning, gave up a couple hits and a run with a couple strikeouts through 20 pitches, 12 for strikes.
First pitch, a fastball missing inside. Grossman at first with 2 down. Twins have 1 double in the inning. Another one might tie the game. High, and it's 2-0.
Verhagen at 6'6". Good fastball. Missing the first 2 with that fastball. Hard slider, curveball, and the changeup.
Dangerous pitch to a dangerous hitter. High fly, deep center, but plenty of room out there for Jones. 400-foot fly ball ends it. The Twins get a couple of hits to draw within 1. It's 3-2.
Cast presented by authority of the Minnesota Twins and may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form. Any accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of the Minnesota Twins, LLC.
Well, the Twins had a very early lead. The Tigers got a couple of hits, got a couple of runs on 5 hits in the first inning. And the difference in the game is the Navarro home run in the 6th. And Brian Dozier hit a deep enough fly ball, but to the wrong part of the ballpark here in Detroit. Brian Holliday will lead things off, and he takes strike 1. Holliday 1 for 2, got one of the hits for the Tigers in the first inning. Chopper, and Escobar gets the second hop. On target, 1 away. Welcome to the deeper coverage of baseball presented by T-Mobile. And Carlos Correa with 3 hits, 3 runs batted in as the Astros beat the Angels this afternoon, extending the Angels losing streak to 6. The Yankees clinched a playoff spot. They don't know yet whether it'll be the wild card spot. They'd like to catch the Red Sox yet and take the division, but they beat the Blue Jays, so they're in. And you see Lindor's ongoing assault on everybody. Ball 1. So the playoff field is set except for the spot the Twins are vying for, and that is the second wild card spot. We know that Boston and New York are in. We know the Indians are in, and we know Houston is in. It's a question of who's going to win that last spot. And the Twins with a 3.5 game lead entering play today. 1-1. And outside 2-1.
Yeah, with the Angels losing, it's 4 right now as this game continues, and then Texas playing in Oakland later. They're 3.5 back.
It's to center, and Buxton has an acre out there to cover. Makes the catch, out number 2. They'll bring up Jacoby Jones. If you can extend the concept of a magic number to the wild card process, it is 6 as it relates to the Rangers and 5 now as it relates to the Angels. Any combination of Twins wins and losses by the other guys equaling those numbers, and the Twins are in. Twins looking for win number 81 on the night, or on the season. 2 down. Here's Jacoby Jones. Counting tonight, 8 games left, and the Twins, if they can win 5 games, they will guarantee that at the very least they'll have a play-in game on Monday. 5-3 would mean a lot to the organization and the chances of getting to the playoffs. You would think, wouldn't you, that would be enough to get into the postseason.
Yeah, 1 more game here again against the Tigers, and 3 in Cleveland, and then 3 against these Tigers at home.
A 5-3 mark from the balance of the schedule would also give the Twins their 4th winning month. September would be a winning month with a 5-3 mark. Little work to do yet here tonight. They're down a run in the bottom of the 7th. 1-2 to Jacoby Jones. Wrapped to third, and a routine play for Escobar. Urban Santana's been really good here tonight, but he's trailing 3-2. And some really bad fortune for Irvin early in the ball game. Ordinarily, you give up a hit that lands on the chalk line, you go, well, it's part of the game. But when you have two in one inning that combined allow a couple runs to score, kind of a tough start to the ball game for Irvin, but he persevered and has given the Twins a chance to win here. Alex Wilson comes out of the Tiger pen to pitch to Mauer, Polanco, and Rosario.
Yeah, Wilson worked in last night's ball game, an 8th inning, clean inning, 1-2-3 inning with a strikeout. Through 11 pitches, 7 for strikes.
Joe had 3 hits here on Thursday, went 0 for 5 with 3 strikeouts, and is 0 for 3 with 1 strikeout tonight. And he takes down and away ball 1. Mauer, Polanco, Rosario. Foul over the Tiger dugout, 1-1. Joe's average was up to 311, but now a couple of rough nights at the plate, and it's down to 306. I think the Twins batters are the least bit disappointed that Matthew Boyd is out of the ball game.
See if they can catch up to one of Wilson's fastballs.
So takes one, and it's 1-2.
Wilson in his 3rd season with the Tigers came over in the Rick Porcello trade from the Boston Red Sox.
Up high, 2-2. Hitting Jorge Polanco on deck.
Time of the game right here. You're a winning ball club. You want to win right here late.
Down and away, 3-2. Foul into the crowd, and another 3-2 pitch coming. Joe hit the ball hard his first time up, lining out to Kinsler, but then a pop up and a strikeout. Up the middle, hits Wilson in the ankle and rolls to the foul line. Mauer will reach on a hit, and Wilson flattened on the ground. And he pops up, but it looked like that got him flush on, I'm not sure which leg, but low below the knee.
Yeah, kind of limping from the right side.
Flexing his right leg, and it got him down around the shin area, it appears. Kevin Rand is the trainer. Don't blink, you'll miss the line drive.
Ouch. Like right in the ankle area.
And he's going to try to stay in the game. He'll be given some tosses here to see whether he can even push off that right leg. That doesn't look good.
No.
Oh, it almost looked like he injured himself trying to throw. So he'll come out of the game after that. That in some ways is more frightening than the line drive itself. Yep. He can hardly put weight on his right leg now. Kevin Rand helping him to the dugout. Something happened on this toss.
Ouch. Boy.
Well, we wish our very best to Alex Wilson. The Twins have the tying run on with nobody out, and Daniel Stump will pitch next. Leaving the bat at 103.8 miles per hour. And Wilson had to leave the ball game. Mauer's at first. Daniel Stump, who was warming up in the bullpen, will get as much time as he needs to be game ready here. And Polanco will bat, and then Rosario. And the Twins are hoping that a leadoff hit will trigger some sort of a rally here in the 8th inning.
Yeah, 51st appearance for Stump. He worked in last night's ball game. Faced only one batter, Eddie Rosario, in the 5th inning, and got Eddie to ground ball to third. That was it. Stump threw one pitch.
Polanco 0 for 2. He was hit by a pitch his last time up, but he has been hitting third in the Twins lineup on merit. 33 runs batted in the last 36 games.
Yeah, power from both sides of the plate for Polanco. 11 home runs, 4 as a right-handed hitter, 7 as a left-handed hitter.
Kinsler in to talk to Stump. Five home runs allowed in 34 1/3 innings. The Twins need to do whatever to get the game at least tied up here in the 8th. Strike one over the inside corner.
Stump with a little cut fastball like slider. And a normal fastball and a changeup.
Missed inside, 1-1. Strike two.
Slider right there. Stump a Rule 5 pickup from the Kansas City Royals over the winter.
Ground ball, base hit, right field. Mauer will hold up at second. Looks like he might try to decoy the way Eddie Rosario did the other night, but he will hold up there. And a good two-strike approach by Rosario, and the Twins start the inning with a pair of hits.
I'll tell you what, Polanco had a really good at-bat right there with that last pitch. Didn't try to do too much with it, just took it. It was away and just shot it between the hole in the right field.
Zach Granite is going to run for Joe Mauer.
Take a look at the pitch right here. Polanco waiting back, letting that ball get deep into the strike zone, and then just slapping it through the infield.
Very often Joe Mauer is removed from a game, but he is taken out here with Granite running for him. And Rosario at the plate, and everyone meeting on the mound. Rosario is 0 for 3. He's hit the ball in the air twice, on the ground once. And now Brad Ausmus joining the conversation.
Rosario has 4 sacrifices on the year.
Escobar hitting behind Rosario. Tigers anticipating the possible bunt here. Corner infielders playing a little bit in front of the bases. Lefty against lefty. And Rosario takes a fastball for a strike.
He did not show bunt there. He thought it was high. Rosario looking down at third base coach Gene Glenn. He went through the signs.
Checked his swing. 1-1. That was a close check.
That was very close.
Tigers were going to try to have Wilson work his way through the 8th inning, but he left after taking the line drive off his ankle. First and second, nobody out. 1-1 to Rosario. Now he squares and takes ball 2. Seven runs batted in, second on the team behind Polanco. Two and 1. Three and 1. Escobar on deck.
Stump came into the ball game 15 walks in 34 1/3 innings. One of those intentional. Rosario, as we know, he does not walk a lot. See if he can hit this hittable pitch if it's over the plate.
Checked his swing, took a strike on the outside corner, and it's 3-2. So Eddie has questioned both strikes taken. Thought the first one was high. He thought this one was outside.
Let's take a look at his fastball. Good
well
pitch.
inside the strike zone. Big pitch here. Runners on base, and in each case pretty good speed. Granted at second, Polanco at first. Tapped up the right side. He got another fastball and got a piece of it. Another 3-2 to Rosario. Down the line, foul by 3 feet. Rosario put the barrel on it and just fouled down the left field line. very concerned about Granite at second base.
Well, really nobody holding him on. Iglesias playing a deep short as Kinsler is.
8th pitch of the at bat. To left field, down for a hit. Granite around third, being waved in. Romine's throw is not in time, and Rosario's tied the game. He fought one off, and the pinch runner scores. It's 3-3.
That's a good at bat by Eddie Rosario right there. Fouled off a couple pitches, and the speed of Granite at second base scores the tying run. So Rosario picking up his 74th RBI on his first hit. The Twins still runners at first and second, nobody out. So another fastball.
Look,
kind of fought it off. You see where the location inside, fought it into left field. And Romine comes in, makes a good throw, but the speed of Granite sliding in safely.
you can make a game show out of video in the Rosario at bats where he gets a base hit. All you do is show where the pitch is thrown and then have somebody guess where the hit, what field it went to. That pitch was up and in, and he fought it off to the opposite field. Escobar tries to bunt.
You know, when I see Rosario at the plate, it reminds me a lot of Tony Oliva. It really does. You know, Tony could do that. Ball in, just flare it the other way. Ball bounce on the ground, he'd hit it out.
Pitch 6 inches outside, and he hooks it around the right field pole. I mean, there's no predictability to where the hits are going to go. But it was a hit. It tied the game, and now 1 strike to Escobar.
And Escobar asked to bunt right there.
Buxton, the on-deck hitter.
Eduardo has 1 sacrifice on the year.
Squaring early. Taking high. First baseman Navarro's crashing. He's starting about 60 feet from home plate.
And being a left-handed thrower, third baseman playing back, so it's up to Stump to cover the third base line. You want to bunt that ball right toward third base if you can.
Make the third baseman come in a little bit.
Yep, that opens up the back door for Polanco to get to third.
Escobar squares early again. Very high. And Holiday had to come out of the crouch to catch it. 2-1.
Gene Glenn again going through signs to Escobar. Sometimes it's just doing the little thing that can create a win.
I think he's swinging away here.
I think he's bunting again. Squaring around.
High, 3-1.
Missed with a slider.
Buxton on deck.
See if he squares around again. Sometimes as a pitcher, when that hitter squares around so quickly, you lose your focus. Stump has missed high in all 3 pitches.
And he bunted at it, and it's 3-2.
That wasn't really a bunt at it. He just kind of laid the bat down.
They're dangerous because the runners, of course, are trying to move off the plate as far as they can, and sometimes you see runners get picked off on a pitch like that. Jimenez and Hardy. Full count to Escobar. Flared toward right field, and Kinsler can't flag it down. It dies in the outfield grass, and the Twins take the lead on a bloop single off the bat of Escobar.
How about Rosario, a little blooper in the left? Here Escobar, who was asked to bunt, gets a count to 3-2, and then he hits a little flare into right field. So a little payback by the Twins, what the Tigers were able to do in the first inning. So fastball, Escobar opening up and hitting a little flare over the head of Kinsler. And the ball, Kinsler ends up getting it. By the time he get it back in, Polanco scores the go-ahead run right now, and Rosario scoots over to third.
Stump dealing with a little adversity, and he will come out of the ball game. He gave up 3 hits. He's given up the lead. The Twins now lead 4-3, and there's still nobody out with runners on the corners. On a night when you'd be doing yourself a favor by not hitting the ball hard, if you want to get hits anyway. It's been that kind of night. The Twins have gotten some soft hits here in the 8th inning to score a couple. There are a couple out there, still nobody out, and Joe Jimenez will pitch next for the Tigers.
Well, I said at the beginning of the inning, you want to win, you want to win, you want these Twins to win, they have to do it late in the ball game too, and so far they have this inning, 4 straight hits. Jimenez coming in for the 23rd time.
And all the attempts at bunting and the threats of bunting, and the threat of a bunt is not over, and the Tigers know it. They've got the infield in here, but Buxton, a couple of times in situations like this, has put down a bunt to score a run. Rosario's at third, Escobar's at first. Jimenez, the new Detroit pitcher. Thought about it and took ball 1.
Jimenez with a slider, fastball, changeup. This is his rookie season with the Tigers.
And Buxton's hit by a pitch, and now they're loaded.
Well, Jimenez with the numbers coming in, 17 1/3 innings, 30 hits allowed. That's his second hit batsman, 8 walks, 15 strikeouts. So like a breaking ball, it just didn't spin until it hit the 25 on Buxton's back.
So now a big spot for Adrianza, who got an awfully big hit his last time up. The Twins were stuck in the mud against Matthew Boyd, and Adrianza hit a double. Grossman followed with a single, and the Twins got 1 and knocked Boyd out of the ball game later that inning.
That's what you have to do here in Detroit. Get rid of the starter, open it up to that bullpen that has really been a disaster all season long.
Up and away, ball 1.
They come into this ball game bullpen wise with a 5.50 earned run average, and that's going to climb here tonight.
One and 0 to Adrianza. 2-0. The way I described it last night after watching Thursday's game, there's just no firewall in the Tiger bullpen. It's just, you know, if something's on fire and you turn to the bullpen, it's only going to get worse. At least that's the way it's played out.
Well, their plan was to get, you know, Wilson through the 8th and then turn it over to their closer right now, and that's Green.
2-0 to Adrianza. Japanese 2-1.
You have a well-pitched game like Matthew Boyd did, you hate wasting it.
Adrianza's double came as a right-handed batter. Infield in with the bases loaded. Off the line, foul, and it's 2-2. Adrianza trying to lift one to the outfield, at least get one more run in here. Soft liner back to the pitcher. He cracked his bat and hit it right to the glove of Jimenez. One down.
Got a little movement on that fastball right off the end of the bat. Jimenez able to catch it. And those are hard sometimes. I'm telling you, as a pitcher, they look like they're coming back 100 miles an hour, but right there, the reaction just kind of fell into his glove.
And now the veteran Grossman. Singled, drove in a run his last time up. Got to get at least one more run out of this. Rosario feints down the third baseline. Outside ball one. Wasn't a walk-off job or anything like that, but Rosario won a ball game for the Twins by bluffing down the line in the 8th inning about a month ago, creating a balk. Turned out to be the deciding run. Tried it again. Missing inside, 2-0. Buxton at first. Escobar at second, Rosario at third. 2-0 to Grossman. Outside, 3-0.
Of course, Robbie, very good eye at the plate. Not over anxious, because that right there probably missed by an inch or two, but just outside. Didn't try to do too much. See if he takes a pitch or if he's got the green light right here. Holiday sitting right down the heart of the plate.
High strike, 3-1.
High strike, yep.
Grossman drew a walk in the 5th inning.
Jimenez has to come in with almost the same pitch again. But get it down a little bit for Grossman.
3-1. Now 3-2. That Grossman walked his last time up. He's done a nice job balancing the walks and the strikeouts. 67 walks, 75 strikeouts. That's why his on-base percentage has been among the league leaders. Big spot here. Twins with 4 hits and a hit batter in the inning and a pair of runs. Nothing wrong with being greedy. Base hit, center field. Rosario scores. Escobar coming around. The throw from Jones not in time, and Grossman delivers a 2-run single.
His second hit at a ball game. He has 3 runs batted in. Ball out over the plate, hits it softly in the center. Rosario and Escobar score, and Buxton scoots over to third.
The carnage continues against the Tiger bullpen. So far, 4 runs allowed here in the 8th inning.
Jimenez fell behind, came in with a fastball down a little bit at 96. But Robbie right over at the hits it sharply in the center. Jones comes in. You don't even see Buxton in the picture. He flew over to third in a heartbeat.
Here's Castro. Fouled back. That one right down the middle and spun it to the screen. 6-3 Twins. The inning started 3-2 Detroit. Is that the update on Alex Wilson? No. Alex Wilson earlier this inning suffered a non-displaced fracture of his lower right leg. And it's amazing that, given that he tried to even throw a pitch. And that's just terrible news. The Tigers had so many disappointing years and injured ball players, and now Alex Wilson's done for the year. 1-1 to Castro. That was just earlier this inning. Bauer's smash took him out of the game. Stump gave up 3 hits and a couple of runs. 1-1 to Castro. Now 1-2. The sound of the ball hitting Wilson was maybe telling. It just didn't sound good. Happened to Phil Hughes last year. He got hit right below the knee. One and two to Castro. Runner goes and the pitch grounded to second. They won't get the double play. Kinsler recovers to get the out, and Buxton comes in on the play.
And Castro driving in a run, his 44th of the year. The Twins add on. 5 runs so far this inning for the Twins as Buxton scores.
Carissa Thompson, Tony Gonzalez, Dave Wanstadt, Colin Cowherd, and Michael Vick have all the latest breaking news and updates you need to start your football Sunday. Fox NFL kickoff tomorrow at 10 a.m. Central. And if they will forgive me, I will use this opportunity to plug the fact that we've got morning baseball tomorrow with pregame show at 10:30 in the morning here at Comerica Park. And that ball got away from the catcher Holiday, and Grossman to third. He'll hold up there. We got pregame at 10:30 tomorrow. First pitch a little after 11 in the morning.
It might have got crossed up right there. Holiday out to talk to Jimenez.
Pass ball, I presume. One and 0 to Dozier. And 1-1.
There was a pass ball that allowed Grossman to get the third.
Dozier, the 9th man to bat here in the 8th inning. Went after some high cheese and fouled it back. Been a good inning for the Twins. There have been innings here in Detroit where they've hit the ball harder. They have combined hits, walks, hit batters to score 5 times here in the 8th inning. And Dozier takes outside, 2-2.
A lot of pitches thrown this inning by the bullpen, 45 total.
Three and 2. Granite on deck.
And credit Irvin Santana too after that first inning, you know, giving up 5 hits, a couple runs. He bore down and got the game into the 7th inning. 7 very good innings.
In position to pick up the win here. And a walk now to Dozier, and Granite will hit. He entered the game earlier this inning as a pinch runner, and trudging to the mound yet again, Brad Ausmus.
Ausmus will only have to do this in what, 8 more days in a Tiger uniform, but he's done a lot of that throughout the summer.
They've always had a pathway here between home plate and the mound, and this year they should have cut another pathway between the dugout and the mound, because he's made this trip far too many times. Running out of time, but scored 5 times. One of the moves that paid off, although given what happened afterwards, it's kind of been obscured. But Blaine Hardy coming in to pitch to Zach Granite. Zach Granite entered the game as a pinch runner after Mauer got to second base earlier this inning, and now he'll have a chance to hit.
Yeah, the numbers on Hardy, the 4th reliever used by the Tigers this inning, trying to get the final out.
Up and in to Granite. Granite ended up scoring the tying run on Rosario's single, and it was probably a base hit that would not have scored Mauer. Now the Twins have piled on since, but I think it all unfolded the way Paul Molitor had hoped. Rosario got a base hit, Granite got the game tied up, and then the Twins went to work.
Hardy in his 4th season with the Tigers.
Popped up near the Tiger dugout. Ooh. And Candelario slams into the railing, and now he is hurt. He reached into the dugout area as best he could, but as you can see, that railing is rib high, and it looked like he crashed right into it. So far tonight,
he's bent over like it's his right leg and maybe buckled on him.
So far tonight, the Tigers have lost Alex Wilson and Miguel Cabrera.
You see the right knee hitting that lower railing.
Yeah, I've been watching the upper railing, but you might be right there.
Yeah.
And he'll stay in the game.
Grabbing his right knee.
Twins have lost Max Kepler to a hip injury. We've not gotten an update on that. Hope to get that update in our Twins Live postgame show. One and 2 to Granite, trying to keep the line moving here. Another impressive inning for the Twins without hitting a home run, without getting an extra base hit. They've scored 5 times. Pulled foul. Rangers A's game will get started in about 20 minutes. An hour and 20 minutes. That gets started at 6 o'clock out there in Oakland. Runner goes, and the pitch lifted to right field. Retreating is Castellanos at the wall. Gone! A home run for Zach Granite. His first in the big leagues.
How about that? Zach Granick, who came in to pinch run for Joe Mauer, got an at-bat this same inning and hit a big 3-run home run.
Just out of the reach of Castellanos, and it's an 8-run eighth.
High fastball. Granick getting it all.
And now Polanco will bat. He singled to right field with 2 strikes earlier this inning. So Granick enters the game because of his speed, and by inning's end, he hits a home run. It's 2-0 now from Hardy to Polanco. Matthew Boyd was brilliant through 6 innings and into the 7th. And as soon as the bullpen came into play, this game has just crumbled for the Tigers. A strike 3-1.
Well, again, that was not Brad Ausmus's ideas to get Wilson through the 8th, turn it over to Green, but with Wilson getting the fracture and taken out of the ball game, 3 relievers since not fared too well.
3-2 now to Polanco. And Polanco, oh, what a catch by Navarro. Polanco slicing one to the corner. But Navarro picked it off, and the inning finally comes to an end.
But a great inning for the Twins.
8 times they scored in the 8th. Boy, did he have an impact as a pinch runner. He scored the tying run, clubbed a 3-run home run. He'll take over in left field with Adrianza moving to the infield and taking over at first base. And Alan Buznitz comes in with the Twins right now comfortably ahead.
Yeah, Buznitz coming in 25th time. He's done a good job against righties and lefties. Opponents hitting only 202 off of him. Left-handers 222, right-handers just 190.
Buznitz comes in. He's like Trevor Hildenberger, been a revelation for the Twins. Adrianza at first. seen so many pitchers who have done okay at AAA who've had a tough time making the transition to this level. And Buznitz and Hildenberger have made it look easy. It's not, but they've made it look that way. 1-0 to Iglesias. And now a strike. I checked during the inning break, and the A's-Rangers game will get started in about 10 minutes.
You know, the 10 runs on the board, it's the 17th time the Twins have scored 10 or more runs in a ball game.
Catch up to the Buznitz mid-90s fastball, 1-2.
And for the Tigers, it's their 23rd time they've allowed 10 runs or more in a ball game.
Dozier to his left, fields and flips one away. 7 innings and some weird goings on in the first inning, but he settled down after that.
Persevered through that first inning. It was not pretty. A lot of hits that were right down that right field line, a couple flares, but all in all, Ervin Santana, 7 very good innings. Threw 96 pitches, 67 for strikes, and 19 of 27 first pitch strikes.
Kinsler at the plate. And Buznitz starts him. 96 over the plate, strike 1. And missing inside, 1-1.
Buznitz with a good fastball. You mentioned 96. Good hard curveball. And a changeup. Castro sitting away.
There's the curve.
It's a good curveball.
One and 2. Right center. Rosario's out there, and out number 2. Games like this, from the Tiger perspective, they just make you wilt. We've experienced a lot of similar games over the last 6 years. You finally get a good competitive start, and if it were a 7-inning game, the Tigers would have won, but it's not. And you turn it over to the bullpen, and then when it happens enough, then the manager gets fired. 2 down.
A lot of times it's easier to fire 1 than 25.
That said, there's no question the Tigers are going to have to rebuild their talent level. They are where they are because of aging players, players who've disappointed, a farm system that's hardly been productive, in part because some of the prospects were traded for veterans. Just recently, when the Tigers were expected to win, fly ball to right. Buznitz has a very quick bottom of the 8th. comfortably in front here. It's the 8th time this year the Tigers, eighth time this month that the Tigers have given up 10 or more runs. And you look in that dugout and you look at your box score, think of all the players. We're talking about the Tiger farm system and how unproductive it's been. Just this year alone, think of the contributions the Twins have gotten from players who spent at least part of the year in Rochester.
Well, you said the 8th time this month, again the 23rd time this year. So you look at the 93 losses if they lose this ball game. A quarter of their losses are because they've given up 10 or more runs. Artie Alicki coming into the ball game made 1 start for the Tigers, his 4th appearance overall in his rookie season.
And Rosario takes a strike over the inside corner. Dixon Machado's in at third. We hope that Jamer Candelario is okay. He had an awkward collision with the railing in front of the Tiger dugout last inning. Fouled back. Be interested to see what the lineup is like tomorrow. Miguel Cabrera left tonight after the first inning because of some lower back tightness. Third baseman may have left the game because of an injury. Relief pitcher broke his leg. Max Kepler with the left hip injury. 2 strikes. And another one up and into Rosario.
Licky with a fastball, curveball, slider, and a changeup. Signed by the Tigers in 2014 out of the University of Virginia.
And now inside 2-2. Rio started the year in Rochester. Adrianza was there on a rehab assignment. Brannett spent most of the year there. Hit hard to center. Jones going back, backpedaling, making the catch, 1 down. Looks like he was born to play center field here at Tiger Stadium. He's got great range.
And you just hope he can hit, that's all.
Yep. September 29th to the 30th, it's Fan Appreciation Weekend presented by Target. On Friday and Saturday, the first 30,000 fans get a Twins stocking cap courtesy of Target. For details and tickets, visit twinsbaseball.com/tickets today. Escobar with a walk and a hit so far on the night. He takes strike 1. And Jones will track this one. 2 down. And that'll bring up Buxton.
Jones out center field, 7 putouts tonight.
25 times this year the Twins have scored 5 or more runs, counting the 8-run 8th that they put on the board tonight. One of the reasons the Twins are 5th in the league in runs scored. Buxton 0 for 3 was hit by a pitch and scored in the 8-run 8th. Down and away, ball 1. Poked foul. 1-1. Twins with a win would reduce the magic numbers to 5 and 4 as it relates to the Rangers and the Angels. And Buxton with his first hit of the night, a solid single to left.
Yeah, curveball stayed up right there. Buxton put a good swing on it.
Kenny Vargas will get an at bat. Adrianza had taken over at first base. We anticipate Vargas will be there for the 9th. Tigers aren't holding Buxton on. He's not going anyplace, and there's strike one. Kansas City is leading Chicago 6-1. Softly to Iglesias' glove. Vargas here in September has picked up a lot of infield hits. Maybe the least likely candidate to do so, but technically we'll call that an infield hit.
And Matt Garver's going to get a opportunity, get a at bat here.
Mitch Garver, of course, spent most of the year in Rochester. And he will take over the DH spot.
Yeah, Robbie Grossman, good night. 2 for 3 with a walk. Drove in 3 of the 10 runs. Hit that big two-run single last inning.
Up and away, ball one. And taken low, 2-0. Twins were able to come to Detroit and end a little losing streak at 3 games. Paul Molitor's talked a time or two recently about strength of this team was dealing with losing streaks and limiting them. The longest losing streak for the Twins this year has been 4 games, and the most recent one was in late July when the Twins were swept out at Dodger Stadium. That was the last time they've had as much as a 4-game losing streak. And a strike called 3-1.
I think the resiliency of this ball club is really shown, especially in the second half. You know, they don't give up.
We've used that word so often, but unless or until somebody can come up with a better word, you're probably going to keep hearing it from us, from the manager, from the front office people. It's been a delight to watch, I can tell you that. 3-2. Couple of runners out there with 2 down and a full count to Garver. Foul back. They're underway in Oakland in a game that the Rangers absolutely have to have now. If they were to lose the game, and if the Twins finish this game off, both the Angels and the Rangers would be 4.5 games back. The Twins only having 7 games left to play. Those 2 teams would each have 8. They've got to play Monday when the Twins have their final off day in Cleveland. Garver slaps it foul between Jeff Smith and the line. Goodrum and Jorge Polanco.
Talking the game.
Another 3-2 to Garver. Swing and a miss. And the inning ends. Twins leave a couple out there. It shouldn't matter. They take a 10-3 lead to the bottom of the 9th. Well, it's been an odd night. Twins are leading 10-3, but the oddness, or the oddity, started on the second pitch of the game when Dozier bunted and ended up scoring after a 3-base throwing error. And Vargas now is in at first base. Gabriel Moya will come in and try to finish it off.
Yeah, Moya just making his 4th major league appearance since being called up from Double-A. Worked a total of 3 innings, couple walks. He's allowed only a couple hits. The run he gave up was a home run.
If you haven't seen Moya pitch, you're in for a treat. Regardless of what happens when he releases the baseball, he's got a curious delivery, and
he's a left-hander, okay?
He's very free-spirited and shows that free-spiritedness on the mound. Navarro homered his last time up back in the 6th inning when it still mattered. It gave the Tigers at the time a 3-1 lead, and it seemed to wake the Twins up a little bit.
I look at Moya, I think of Hal Hrabowski, the mad Hungarian.
Fastball over the inside corner. You look at his delivery, and it appears from up here, and the hitters, I guess, have said the same thing. It looks like he throws harder than he actually does. That was 90 miles per hour, but if you're standing in the box, the way he conceals the ball and his delivery.
Oh, the tapping of his foot about 3 or 4 times. One, 2, 3, and a little one.
And it's that movement that you saw with a runner on base that created a balk when he was on the mound in his first major league appearance. Two and one. Navarro, Castellanos, and then Machado would hit. Fouled off of Castro.
Yeah, Moya just 22 years old from Venezuela. He came over in a John Ryan Murphy trade with the Arizona Diamondbacks. Had a good year at Double-A.
For both organizations.
Combined 6-1, an ERA at .77. Only 5 earned runs allowed in 58 1/3 innings.
Hit well to the left. Granted is back, and that is gone. A home run. Navarro with his 2nd home run in as many at bats. Second home run that Moya has allowed.
Well, I remember Navarro. We talked about this when he was with the Angels. He put up great numbers in the minor leagues, but never really got a chance to play on a regular basis. Right there, gets a fastball and took it the other way. And Granite goes back. With his speed, he just runs out of room.
And now Castellanos. A strike.
And for Navarro, first time he's hit 2 home runs in a ball game. Again, his first 2 home runs in a Tigers uniform.
Yes, he figures, look, if I have to replace Miguel Cabrera, I better swing the bat like Miguel Cabrera. 1-1 to Castellanos. Lead still comfortable at 6 runs. Fly ball down the right field line. Rosario with a very long run, and he runs out of room on the warning track. Couldn't quite get there. And up by 6 runs. No one wants Eddie Rosario to dive for that ball. 1-2. Moya trying to just take care of business here. Finish the ball game. Don't have anybody else warming up behind him. Into the shift and a wicked hop to Dozier, who stayed with it nicely. One down.
Boy, that almost took Moya's hat off.
One down, and for more on the Twins rookie pitcher, let's go to Marty Gellner.
I talked to Gabriel Moya about his unique, we'll call it, delivery. He said there are two ideas behind the movement. The first is to make the batter anxious. The second is that he uses all that time to visualize where he wants to throw the pitch. And he said no one's really ever tried to change his delivery. Even when he came over to the Twins, they told him, go ahead, go with it, because it's comfortable for him and it's effective. And he also kind of looks angry out there, and he said there's a purpose for that too. He said, my goal is to let the batter know I basically want to eat him alive. That's what I want him to think, that this is my territory. So there's a lot going on out there, Dick and Bert, when Gabriel Moya is on the hill, but it's working for him.
I'm telling you, that's a mad Hungarian right there. Al Herbrowski. The only thing he doesn't do is go behind the mound and put the ball in his glove and then turn around real quick.
Change up missing outside.
Well, again, everybody has their own little uniqueness, what they have to do to throw a baseball.
But there's still, as you can see from the center field camera, that delivery still needs to be cleaned up. He needs to stop the glove movement, or he'll have more balks called on him. Fly ball left field corner. Granite reaches and makes the catch right by the ball boy. 2 down. We will be using our best diction and pronunciation throughout the day tomorrow. Jose Barrios will be going against Buck Farmer. And again, it's a 10:30 pregame show. The Tigers moving the start time up an hour because the Lions are playing across the street at 1 o'clock. So get ready for some morning baseball. Used to have that at the Metrodome. Remember those Saturday morning games when the field had to be converted to football?
I love pitching those games. I think was it Eric Milton pitched a no-hitter
against the Angels on one of those Saturday morning games.
Sure did.
The one I never understood is the morning games at Met Stadium when the Gophers were playing at Memorial Stadium. They just figured there were some people who wanted to go to both games, I guess, but you know, the Gophers never played at Metropolitan Stadium, but it was a different facility. But you know, the Twins still started their Saturday morning games at 10.
Out of respect to the Gophers, okay?
Ask George Brett how he feels about those, or how he felt about those Saturday morning games at Met Stadium.
Well, we're trying to have him take a day off.
He thought he had one. Then he found his name in the lineup. Didn't have a good day, and that was the year he almost hit 400. 1-2. Right off the end of the bat. One thing that's been nice about these first 3 games, the Twins have been able to get through them without taxing the likes of Hildenberger, Rogers. Belisle's pitched to the last 2 ball games, but that's just because he hadn't pitched for a while. And the Twins have an off day on Monday, so tomorrow it should be all hands on deck. Chop to the right.